My name is Ebode Nelson, and I'm here on yet another episode of what a medical laboratory scientist earn in Nigeria. So that's what I'll be talking on today's video. And please do well to like, share, and subscribe to my channel, so those that need this information will actually get it. So as I proceed, I want you to know that in the medical laboratory science profession, there are different hierarchy. The lead, which is an intern, to the apex, which is the director of medical laboratory services. I'm going to be telling you what their award is in Nigeria, what's an intern, which is the least a medical laboratory scientist, and what the apex, which is the director of medical laboratory scientists, earn in Nigeria. On this video, I'm going to be giving you a range because it might differ in some of the facilities, so it will guide you on what you actually earn or what is the worth of a medical laboratory scientist in Nigeria, both in a public sector and a private sector. Just stay with me as we proceed to the next in this video. So immediately one has graduated from the university, the first thing is to proceed to apply for internship in different facilities. It could be a private facility or a government facility, which is a federal or state level. And there are facilities that are accredited by the Medical Laboratory Science Council of Nigeria. Those are the only places that is approved for an intern to do his or an internship. And during this period, it is expected that the intern is being paid an amount between the range of 130,000 naira to 220,000 naira, depending on the facility. And this is done for 1 year. 1 year, that is 12 months. Then some facility might give you leave during this period, but it is expected that the intern is supposed to work for 1 year. And this is a hand in practice kind of program, of which the intern is going to work and learn in the process. And this is a very crucial stage in the profession, of which those things that one has done in school, probably you didn't do enough practical, probably you've not done them before, or you've not seen them being done. As an intern, you are going to work with your hands, see this analysis, and be able to do them under the supervision of a senior medical laboratory scientist or a chief medical laboratory scientist. Then, after you are done with your internship, the next phase is to proceed for your NYSC. And during your NYSC period, you are being paid by the federal government for the allocated fee, which is currently 33,000 naira, pending on when the 70,000 naira that will be implemented, that was agreed by the labor union last year. So they've not started paying that amount, but pending on when they'll start paying that, it is 33,000 naira as an NYSC, as a core member. So after that, you proceed to gain employment, and when you are gainfully employed in a public or a private sector, it is expected that your level is being started as a senior medical laboratory scientist 1. And as a senior medical laboratory scientist 1, you are expected to earn between the range of 250,000 naira to 270,000 naira, 250,000 naira to 270,000 naira as a senior medical laboratory scientist 1. So that is your entry level. Then after which you must have worked for like 3 years, then you will now proceed to the level of a principal medical laboratory scientist. And as a principal medical laboratory scientist, you're entitled to earn between the range of 350,000 naira to 400,000 naira as a principal medical laboratory scientist, of which after you must have worked for the next 3 years. Then when you are being promoted again, you will now be promoted to the level of a chief medical laboratory scientist. And as a chief medical laboratory scientist, you are entitled to earn between 400,000 naira to 450,000 naira. They are entitled to earn between 400,000 naira to 450,000 naira as a chief medical laboratory scientist, and it will take you 3 years after being a principal medical laboratory scientist to become a chief medical laboratory scientist. So, like I said, from the level of an intern, then you go for your youth service, then to the level of a senior medical laboratory scientist. That is, if you are working in a public, that is a private, a public sector, which is either at federal level or at state level. Then after that, you now rise to the level of a principal medical laboratory scientist, then to the level of a chief medical laboratory scientist. Now, the next level for you to attend to after the chief medical laboratory scientist is the assistant director of medical laboratory services. The assistant director of medical laboratory services. And as an assistant director of medical laboratory services, you're entitled to earn between 450,000 naira to 500,000 naira, depending on the facility. Either, like I said, either at the state level or at the federal level. Then you will need to work for at least a minimum of 4 years. Then you are being promoted to the level of a deputy director medical laboratory services. And as a deputy director medical laboratory services, you are entitled to earn between 550,000 naira to 600,000 naira. As a deputy director medical laboratory services, you're entitled to earn between 550,000 naira to 600,000 naira. So you see how the level and the amounts is being increased at different levels. So after the level of the deputy director medical laboratory sciences, the next level to attain is the level of the director of medical laboratory services, and this is the apex level anyone can ever be as a medical laboratory scientist, either in a state facility or in a federal facility. These are the reorgas at the level of the assistant director, the level of the deputy director, the level of the director. These are the reorgas of the profession. I believe you know what I mean when I say the reorgas. But as a medical laboratory scientist, we respect hierarchy. So as an intern, you respect the senior medical laboratory scientist down up to the director of medical laboratory sciences. Since I've been able to tell you what a medical laboratory scientist earn in the public sector, I'll tell you what a medical laboratory scientist earn in the private sector as well. In the private sector, it actually depends on the level of experience and the skill the medical laboratory scientist has been able to acquire, and also the facility. Some facility pays between 150,000 naira to 200,000 naira, 300,000 and even 400,000 naira, depending on the facility, your experience and your skill of proficiency. That is how you'll be paid in a private sector. So do well to follow me, subscribe to my channel, and share for more content like this. And my next episode, I'll be telling you what medical laboratory scientists earn outside the country, like in US, in UK, in Canada, in Australia, in Switzerland, and so many other countries, for those of you that has the Jackpot mindset. So stay tuned for the next episode, and don't forget to subscribe. Thank you. It's once again the lab scientist, a body else.